Hello and welcome to another breakout session. This is breakout session number 39, where we're going to learn some more thirds, a scale of thirds that we haven't worked on before. But before we get started, I want to say hi to all the members of the Guitar League out there around the country that might be watching. And I want to do a shameless plug. If you're the kind of guy that's just looking to strum his guitar and sing along with songs, I'm putting out a little video series called Learn a New Song in 4 Minutes. Okay, so I'm putting them out weekly, hopefully, like Thursdays or Fridays, and you won't get an email on those, so you'll need to subscribe and hit the little bell, and then you'll get those songs. And they're the campfire versions, and they're kind of fun songs. I put a few up already, and some of them are linked to other lessons, like this lesson that we're going to learn today. There's an intro to one of my 4-minute songs in here. So let's get started. So I've done a few videos on double stops in the past. I did videos on sixths, and we've done them on thirds, and we've done them actually on fourths. Okay, we're going to do some more thirds, but we're going to work on the E string and the B string down here. And we're going to start by using the B string as the root note. So we're going to start with a D scale, okay, in thirds on those two strings. You will get this printout down in the description. Okay, you just click a link and you can get access to this. It's pretty self-explanatory, okay? And we use the same intervals that we've talked about in breakout session number 1, where we learned the intervals of a scale, okay? So they use the same intervals, and then we can move this scale to different keys, okay? So, and we're deriving this scale where we're going to take 2 notes. We're using a D shape to start with, but we're only going to take 2 notes from that 3-note chord. We're going to take the root note and the 3rd note. So we're going to use the middle finger on the D note on the B string, and we're going to use our first finger on the F sharp note on the E string. So we've taken two notes from this D-shaped chord. So that is going to be the major shape, and there's 1 fret in between it. Okay? The minor shape would be taken from this D minor chord, but we're only going to play the root. This finger's not being played, so we're playing the root here on D, and we're playing the flat 3rd like in a D minor. So we're just playing those 2 notes, and you notice that there is 2 frets in there. It's a whole step when we do the minor chords. So you got a half step and a whole step. So you would, in a scale of D, you'd be, this would be a D, and then you'd be going to an E minor, and then an F sharp minor, and then a G, and then an A, and then a B minor, and then a C sharp diminished, and then back to D. So you could play that while somebody else was playing the chords. Or you could use it like for intros. Okay, so you can play along with that. Now, here's one of the interesting parts about this. So this little 2 on the major chords where we have so this would be like a D major. Up here would be like a G major. This would be like an A major, right? But we're only playing the root in the 3rd. Well, if you add a 5th to that, Now you have a little arpeggio that you can play. So to add the fifth to it, let's say on the D, we just come up to the 5th fret. So you've got the D, the F sharp, and now you've got an A, which makes this chord. Okay? But it's a little arpeggio that you could play. Over the major chord. So this would be like the D major, the G major, the A major arpeggio, G major arpeggio, D major arpeggio. It's just kind of cool because it, you take an arpeggio and you can extend it out with that little move, okay? And it's a simple little move. Now here's an interesting thing. So we were using the B string as the root. Let's just come up here to, let's come up to this F note, just because you can see it better maybe. And so this would be an F major arpeggio right here, right? Because it's the same thing we were doing in D, now we're in F. So that's an F major arpeggio. Now, if we flatten this out and we use the E string as the root, that's an A now, right? And if we barred the B string and the A string, and we use those two notes, which is technically a 4th, but if we add a 5th to that, we now have an A minor, R minor, F, G, A minor. So you could play that back here, back in the D. This would be a D arpeggio. This would be an F sharp minor to G to A. You can start to make a little music with just those 3 notes. So I thought that was an interesting little find there. And how I found that was I was working on some Mark Knopfler stuff from Dire Straits. Where he does that stuff all the time. He plays a lot of arpeggios. I think we just had a little lightning flash here. Whoa, we've got a thunderstorm going on out here. I'm going to cut some of this off and put down my electric guitar. Okay, we're back. That was wild. It's still raining out there, but I think the big storm passed. Okay, so we're back. So to kind of summarize here, the scale. So obviously if you're starting the scale here in D, you'd be in D, right? But you could start the scale in E. You could start it in F, and using the same half step, whole step, half step intervals. You could come up here to G, like that. You could come to A, okay, and so on all the way up the neck, okay? So it's very movable. And the shapes that we're using were the D shape, the D minor shape, and that last one with the minor chord was this three string minor with the root on the A string. So hopefully the shapes will help you find the arpeggio or the thirds help you find the shape, one or the other, Okay? So what do you do with these things now that you learn these scales and that they're movable? Well, if you were Jimmy Buffett, you might use it for Margaritaville. If you were Van Morrison, you might, let's see. I use it for Brown Eyed Girl. Storm's starting up again out there. Okay, so we want to get through this pretty quick. So I think that kind of gives you an idea of what we're doing with this scale. You will have the paperwork in the description, and you can play around with it a little bit. Don't forget to subscribe now. I've got a new goal for myself, trying to increase my subscribers, and I sure would like you to help me. So let me know how this works for you. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. And if you have any requests other than stop playing, no. If you have any requests, put them in the comments too, and maybe I can pick a subject that you might like better, okay? Or a song that you want to learn or something. Okay, so we're going to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and be safe out there.